All right, guys. Well, welcome to my first English Q&A session. Well, I have just opened this YouTube channel, actually transferred to a new name called Basketball Never Stops. This is my first English Q&A. For those who live in Turkey who don't really speak the language, I'm gonna make sure you do understand every single word that we talk about here. Today, my first guest from United States, Mike Dunn. He's a professional shooting coach. Mike, thanks for joining, man. How are you today?
I'm honored. I'm honored to be the first English-speaking guest, man. That's a big deal.
Man, that's actually a really big deal. Like you can't imagine how big is this right now. Yeah, I was like, is he gonna say yes? Should I really ask him to
For
actually?
sure, man. For sure. You do great stuff, man. I saw the stuff you do, so it was no hesitation.
Thank you so much, man. So let's right into that. I'm just gonna stop talking and I'm gonna let you talk. First of all,
Okay.
who is Mike Dunn, guys? It's not C Mike Dunn, it's Mike Dunn, and it's called C Mike Dunn on Instagram. Okay, so who is Mike Dunn? What does he do? Most importantly, Mike, why do you do what you do, man? Could you please talk about yourself a little bit and what you do, please?
Yeah, man. So, yeah, my name is Mike Dunn, and I'm a professional shooting coach. I teach people how to shoot from youngsters up to professionals. Whoever wants to learn, basically, that's why I'm here. And I really got started on this journey about 4 to 5 years ago. Really pushing it, trying to do everything I can to make it happen. And why do I do it? I do it because I've said this before, but there's something about working with players and seeing them get it. I call it that, like the aha moments, like the aha, like, oh, I understand this now. And there's something about that drives me to try to help as many players as possible refine their jump shot.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mike. Well, I see you training people. I see you training trainers, and you usually
Yep.
do that at like 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Sometimes like earlier than that. Uh, why do you do that so early? Uh, and yeah, could you just talk about like training
Yeah.
people computers in early time? I really
Yeah.
want
So
to do that at 5 a.m. for it.
so I still work a 9 to 5 job, right? So basketball is, it's my love. Like I love doing it. It's it's a passion of mine, right? It's what I love to do. However, I only get 24 hours in my day, and people have said it many different ways, but we all get 24 hours. So no matter what, whether you want to do something or you say you want to do something, we all have the same amount of time in the day to get that done, right? So I know that in order to get a lot of the stuff done that I need to do, whether that be content purposes, even training purposes, I have to wake up pretty damn early in the morning. So I wake up around 3:45 in the morning, and I always get my weightlifting in first, and then I head over to the basketball gym, and that's where some players will meet me at 5 a.m. A lot of times they don't, but more often than not, other trainers will come meet me at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's in my opinion, and my mentor is Rob Fodor. So if you don't know who Rob Fodor is the shooting coach for the Miami Heat. And we get to talk all the time. And his big thing is the only way the game is ever going to advance is if you teach the teachers, right? Because we can only do so much individually, but if we can continue to teach the teachers, then things will spread, the game will get better, and that's the way it will go. So I open my gym up and I say, hey, if you want to come learn, if there's something you want to find out, whatever, you know exactly where I'll be at 5 a.m.
Wow.
You can come, and then I'm an open book. Whatever you want to learn, take, move on with your clients. That's fine. I don't fall into that scarcity mindset of you're taking people away from me. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people in the world. You know what I mean? And so if I can help you become a better trainer, I'm going to do everything in my power to do so.
Wow, this is really inspirational, especially for the players who are in the United States, because we are actually doing this for the other players in the other, not other world. There's only one world, but the other players in the world too.
Right.
Since I'm from Turkey, it's really hard to find a place open at 5 or 4 a.m. For the players who are in the United States, I think they should feel so lucky that they can just like step outside and find the hoop, but
Mhm.
still don't do it. It just gets me a lot, and I still don't understand why. Especially when someone calls me as a player, hey, be there at 5 a.m. I'll be there at 3 a.m. just to like get them shooting in, so I'll be ready for you. That's all the mentality, and
Yeah, man. Yeah,
um,
it, it's
yeah,
funny because you say that, and it's so true that people don't understand, especially here in the States, how good they have it. You
oh
know
yeah,
what I mean? Like the opportunities are there. I still have people that will contact me and say they don't know my schedule. They don't know that I'm in the gym super early, but they'll say, "Hey, man, I can never find an empty gym. Every time I go to the gym, there's too many people there, and I can't get my workout in." And I always come back with, I say, "Well, what time do you go?" Because if you're going to go there, it's like it's kind of like a metaphor for life. If you're always going to do what everybody else is doing, if you're going to go to the gym at the same time that everybody else usually goes to the gym, it's going to be very crowded. But if you're willing to do the things that people aren't willing to do, show up at times that people normally are sleeping, right? You start to do that. That's how you start to get ahead. But everybody wants. Oh, a lot of people just take this mindset of, oh, it's not convenient for me, so I'm not going to do it. And it's a terrible mindset to have. And just like you said, in other places of the world, people would do anything to be able to get in a gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So you got to take advantage of it when it's there.
oh, Mike, like a lot of the players from Turkey are actually asking me, hey, so how do I find the hoop? How do I find the rim? Those who haven't been in the United States before, um, I just say that this is just how it goes, and I wish that it would go like that in Turkey too. But you told me that you have this. This is the story that I have to mention it really well. So those who want to do something, those who want to have their side hustle turning into a job, that
Mhm.
they have to understand it doesn't happen overnight. You do have 9 to 5 job, you do have a daughter, you do have a family, and you still wake up. You still wake up at 3:30 and 4 a.m. to do your side hustle, turning into your main job, especially on Instagram. I see it. You post every single day, and those editing, I mean, they take time too.
Yeah.
Like you do your job, you train the trainers, you train the players, you do your 9 to 5, you come home, you spend your time with your family. Do you sleep at all? What?
I get my 5 to 6 hours, and that's how I roll. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's not healthy. That's not, and I get it. I understand that, but at the same time, um, I don't get that tired, man. I'll tell people all the time, if I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't sleep. That's just the way it was. I know I have to, but I have conversations with my wife. I say, if I did not have to go to bed, I wouldn't go to bed, because there's our time here, man. Like, I know we're talking basketball, but our time here is so limited. It's so limited that, like, I want to squeeze out of it, out of this life, everything I can squeeze out of it. You know what I mean? Whether
Mm.
that be basketball, family, all that kind of stuff. I want to see how far I can go. And if that means I have to sacrifice some hours here and there, you know what I mean? Okay. I'll live with that, because I know eventually down the line where I see myself going, it will all be worth it at the end.
Wow, guys, like I would love to mention again, he's not sacrificing his time to be a player in overseas or to be NBA player at all. He's sacrificing his time to teach others. So that's the most important key that I would like to mention. Sacrificing yourself for others, turning into service is passion. I love that. Man, that's pretty cool. See, like I did not know that you actually have a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
this, like I don't see any of the 9 to 5 here at all.
Right. Right.
I feel like this guy goes in the gym and shoots for like 12 hours and makes videos and brings some value to people. So obviously it's not that. It's that when you have the time, you're just using your time really well. So
Yep.
Mike, did you play basketball?
Yes, I played. I got a full scholarship to Philadelphia University. It's Division II school here, right outside of Philadelphia. Historically, one of the best Division II schools of all time. I played for Herb McGee, who's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's either the first or the second winningest college coach of all time at this point. I think him and Coach K go back and forth between wins. And he was a professional shooting coach as well. So I kind of lucked out in that regard to, while I played for him in the summertime, I got to go to different camps with him and watch him speak and watch him interact with people and kind of get the blueprint about how to start to go about teaching shooting. You know what I mean? So I was very fortunate in being able to do that. So I owe a huge debt of gratitude to my college basketball coach.
That's how you get into shooting instead of just like training generally, right?
Yeah. So everybody, people will come to me and they'll say, well, do you do ball handling and you do all this? And I say, I do shooting, and we do shooting. I do shooting and movement. And other than that, I'll leave the ball handling to other people. I always say eventually I want to get to the point where I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. And the best way for me to go towards that is to be very, very hyper specific. So I'm shooting. That's what I do. I want to be known as that guy that you'll come to. Hey, I need help in that jump shot. I need to understand what's going on here. And then I want to be the guy to help. That's the ultimate goal.
Your niche is awesome. Like having narrowing that niche, like narrowing that basketball trainer, shooting trainer, shooting coach is a great niche. I like whoever wants to be a great shooter, definitely instead of going to trainer, should go to you and ask, hey, how do I do that? So that's pretty much awesome. Mike, how old are you?
33.
And how long have you been, like, how's that? I really wonder how's that, like, you playing college basketball, then you got into shooting. Like, when did you get into shooting, and how long have you been as a shooting coach? Like, how have you been doing this job?
So obviously, I've been in the shooting thing kind of since college, just because I was a shooter in college, and then getting to work with my coach. So I'm doing that, but I actually took a pretty big break from basketball in general. I didn't pick up a ball for an extended period of time, and then sometimes we have things happen in our life that make us realize how short life is. And I had one of those moments, and it kind of clicked for me as of 2015, 16 is when I decided it's time to just go for it. It's time. You only live one time, so let's go out doing something that we love doing.
Man, I love that. I see lots of common things between you and me. Of course, like we do have family, and I got 2 daughters, and I have
awesome.
A kid too. I'm a server. I work at nights between 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and come home and put the kids in the bed and wake up 6 a.m. in the morning. I've been doing this for 6 years.
Beautiful.
I had a break from basketball right after high school because I had to take the engineering school. And what I believed was go to engineering school and graduate as an engineer and make the money and take care of your family, because I'm not coming from the family who always had the money, But like basketball has always been passion for me. That's why I was looking for those like overseas tryouts. And I actually had one in June. You must be the first person that I'm telling you. Because people are like, okay, Khan, so you doing basketball videos, you sharing your daughter. Who are you, man? It's like, man,
yeah.
It doesn't matter who am I. Are you getting some value from like what I post? Are you getting something? I was like, yeah, okay, then don't worry about me, So I have a tryout coming in June, but that's just an excuse. But for me to go on like upper body, ball handling, shooting, I just have to be outside every single day. And just like you are, I just do love the game. I go to the gym here, opens at 6 a.m., only opens 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's a retirement community. There is no problem that the gym is actually full here because gym is always empty here.
Yeah.
Who wants to have an empty gym? Guys, come to Hilton Head, South Carolina. Gym is always empty here. So it's a full equipped gym, and there is no one except the pickleball people. Just so you know. Let's get into the next question. So what's next, man? Like, what do you want to achieve in your life?
I ultimately want to get in front of as many kids as possible and teaching shooting. I want to go travel the world and do it through basketball. That's the big goal. I've always said I want to get in front of as many kids and help as many parents. That's it, man. I think that the connection that we make in person is always it's there's nothing like it. I did a shooting clinic in Curitiba, Brazil a few months ago, and it's funny, man. Like the impact that you can make virtually on the internet and all that stuff is really cool. Like it's a really cool thing, but the impact you can make in person it's so much different. It's so much different, and you get to connect with kids and families, and that's all I want to do, man. I just want to travel. I want to go all over the world and get in front of as many kids as possible. I tell kids all the time, I say, look, before I start anything, I say, the best shooter that ever existed can be in this gym right now. You can, if you think that you have the ability to be the best shooter in the world, you can be. Because shooting is a skill. Shooting's not necessarily the most gifted athlete or who's the fastest, the strongest. Are you willing to pay attention to the details that are going to make you great? And are you willing to put in the time every day to be able to repeat that? And if so, there's nothing that says you can't become the best shooter that ever lived. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl, right? It's just, it's really up to you. I think instilling that mindset in kids and players is what I really want to be able to do no matter where I am teaching.
This is so powerful. I would love to see you one day in Turkey, man. Basketball is huge, and I know there's a lot of followers from Turkey. That's why I really wanted to, as I told you before, I really wanted to get you the Q&A session and answer all those questions. Which I'm getting those questions a lot, but like I don't want to ask you all of those questions since you have a busy life, you know. But one day I really want to say, Mike, hey, I found the facility. Let's go there. Let's teach the kids. Let's do something, because we didn't grow up with like, hey, the release point, pickup point, that path, or doing the elbow like square, or like we didn't grow up with that.
Right.
Like, how we grew up is, hey, get the ball, put it in the rim. However, you put it in the rim does not actually matter.
Right.
Like I'm 27 years old, and I have just learned to like actually get it square up, or like what is the pickup point? How does the path have to be until you release the ball? How does your hand have, like those kind of skill set? I've just learned that, and a lot of the players in Turkey or wherever they are, they still don't know how it is, and once they actually miss the shot and they give up, right?
Yeah, well, that's not exclusive, but that's not exclusive to Turkey. That I would say that's here too. I would say the majority of kids. I would say there's a lot of coaches that don't understand it. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's kind of, it's not mutually exclusive to one part of the world. It's one of those things where I think over time, and hopefully I can help do this, but I'll bring more and more awareness to it so that the game, just like I said, the game continues to get better and better.
That's it. And the coaches in the world, since we speak in English, I'm pretty sure this will go billions of people if they want to watch this. What do they need to do to get you to their countries to actually teach the kids?
Yeah, all you have to do is just reach out to, I have my website, smikedunn.com, and then there's the information there to reach out, and that's it. That's all you got to do. smikedunn.com, contact me, and then we make it happen.
You're in Serbia. You're in like Croatia. You're like Canada.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Like that sounds pretty cool. So how do you consider yourself as a shooting, like, I don't know how to ask this question. What do people need to actually see that you are actually like enough to teach? You know what I mean? Like how do they need to be like I'm trying to see the business from different perspective. It's like I went on the Instagram, I see you as professional shooting teacher, right?
Hmm.
Like, why do I need you?
Why do you need me? I would say because chances are you're probably at a level of shooting that may be passable.
Hmm.
But I always say, do you want to be the level shooter on where you're at now, or do you want to be what's considered a professional shooter, in my opinion? And I would say 99.9% of people are not anywhere near their full capacity in terms of what they can actually do shooting the basketball. And it kind of stems from, we do a lot of things stationary. Everything is done stationary. You see a lot of things, balance drills stationary, all that kind of stuff. If you want to unlock your full potential as a shooter, you have to understand movement. You have to understand balance in a dynamic way, not a stationary way. And then you have to understand being able to move at full speed while you're doing it. So there's a lot of different factors that come into play that go well beyond just the fundamentals of how we grip the ball or the sequence of things, whether, and in that regard, it starts to come down to, okay, but can you do it on a full sprint? Can you do it going away from the hoop? Can you? And that's where I come in, and that's where I do a lot of my work with players, trying to get them to understand, okay, yeah, you're a good shooter when you're standing still, but let's put you in a whole slew of scenarios that are going to be uncomfortable as hell for you. But eventually, over time, we're going to make that like second nature.
Wow. So you're actually overloading the player too, which is.
Oh yeah, you got to. You have to take the simple things and make them harder. So now we come back to the simple, and now the simple is even simpler. I know that's like a mouthful of words, but that's what we're trying to do.
Did you work with any of the NBA players, or like D1, D2, or G League, or AAU?
Yeah, I've worked with a variety of guys. NBA, I've worked with overseas college guys. And it's all, to me, it's a basketball player is a basketball player. Obviously, as you start to go up the ranks of it, the thing that you'll notice is that pros pick up on things pretty damn quick, which is always fun to work with the pros. But also it's one of those things where I also, working with high school kids will surprise the heck out of you too, in terms of what they're actually able to do. So you just kind of have to push them in that direction of letting them understand that they're actually capable of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've just started. I mean, I was a volunteer at one of the high schools here. I just want to see the strength and conditioning part of the basketball and other sports too. And they actually amazed me. Like, they were doing the stuff the NBA players were. I mean, their strength and conditioning coach used to be the WNBA strength and conditioning coach. So
Nice.
she's awesome. She's her name is Elizabeth Proc.
Okay.
Um, like the things that she was giving, like the players to do, it was just mind blowing. And as you can tell, the high school players are not like the players that you can just say, okay, well, you were just a high school player. Well, they're
Right.
actually not. They do amazing stuff if they wanted to do it. Which leads me the other question. Now I'm getting lots of questions, lots of comments from a lot of young players. Hey, so what do I do now? I have to be at home. I can't go outside. I have to be able to improve my shooting. I have to be able to do my upper body, everything. But since we are talking about shooting, and since people can't go
Mm-hmm.
outside right now, um, and they don't have the rim in their
Yep.
house, right? If they can reach the rim, that's awesome. If they can't, what do they need to do? Is there any 1, 2, 3 skills that you can tell them to do?
Yeah, I would say work on isolating your upper body as much as possible. So one of my big things with shooting is understanding that the ball always has to move first,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we want to transfer energy the most appropriate way, that's going to get us the most repeatability as well as give us the most power. The ball is always going to have to be close to our body and have to move first. So one of the ways that I work with players, if we have a hoop, I'll take the legs out of it completely. We'll go a super wide stance. You can go seated. You can do that kind of stuff. But when you're by yourself at your house, if you don't have access to a hoop, you can still do things that are seated. You can still do the wide stance. There's a drill called the shoot the line drill. If you find a line outside on the ground, maybe a sidewalk crack, something like that. And what you do is just put your dominant side foot on that sidewalk crack and then just work on shooting the ball up in the air and trying to get it to land on that line that's right in front of you. So right now you're taking care of shooting the ball straight. And then the higher you get the ball in the air, you're working on the trajectory of it. So while you may not be shooting at a hoop, you're actually what I call detaching from the outcome of makes and misses. So now you can focus on nothing but just moving the ball through the shot line, taking the legs out of it, right? And we're just saying, is the ball going to go straight, right? That's all we're focused on. So a lot of times, especially with kids, in a way, this could end up being a blessing in a way, because it's taking away, oh, I'm making shots, oh, I'm missing shots, and now it's just saying I'm only focusing on the actual actionable items of shooting the basketball, how I'm lifting the ball through the shot path, where I'm releasing, all that kind of stuff.
Which, guys, like I'm telling you, you never had this much time in your life before.
Yeah.
Man, don't sleep 10, 12 hours. Like use this time really your advantage of like wake up early. Try to wake up early. Try to do something different. Or I don't know, like grab the ball or watch Mike on Instagram. Go all the way down. Just see what Mike, like I did this. I went all the way down, right? That's how I improve actually you helped me a lot to improve my shot, because
awesome.
I thought that my pickup point was actually middle, but my pickup point is actually got lower, and I kept my arm closer to my body from my pickup point, which is like almost the knee, almost right above the knee, and I was able to get more shots. But how I did was like I just watched your Instagram. I went all the way down and I went to every single post, man. Like that's what I did after I put my dollars in his sleep. Then I like you explain everything. This is like free.
Yeah.
Like free session, guys. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like instead of watching Netflix, instead of watching stuff, don't watch stuff, right? Go watch something that you would like to work on if you want to achieve something in the future as a basketball player, since we're talking
Absolutely.
about like come
Absolutely.
on, like you like I mean you explain everything.
I tried to, man. I tried to.
I don't know how much value that it must be giving on, like look at this. Anyway, like just go see Mike Dunn, SEEMIKEDUNN. See Mike Dunn on Instagram and just watch him and just blow some comments and like or learn something.
Yeah, man, for sure.
As a dad and 27-year-old, Mike, is there anything that you would like to cover as a professional shooting coach that we haven't covered? I know that you're a busy man, so I don't want to keep you on the Q&A session for like 3 hours. But my purpose is just to give as much value as I can give to basketball players. So,
yeah, I would say that if you're serious about shooting the basketball, that's something that you really, really want to do. Mm-hmm. I would say do your best to understand it as best as possible. So what I mean by that is I could always shoot the basketball, right? I was very, very good shooter in college, but I didn't understand the whys of why I did things. I didn't understand if I did have an off night, I didn't know why. You know what I mean? I could just shoot, and if it was a bad night, it was a bad night. If you take the time as a player, especially as a young player, to really understand the ins and outs of the game of shooting the basketball, your growth as a shooter is going. It's gonna blow you away, because if you can really understand the concepts of what's going, you now can become your own personal shooting coach, and no one's gonna know you better than you know you, right? So understand it, dive into things, be a nerd about it, whatever you have to do, because it's so valuable. There's a term called reaching the point of unconscious competence, where you get to a point of understanding and doing that it just becomes second nature to you. And when you're out there, you're no longer thinking about it. It just is. And that's where we need to get to as players. And there's no cap on age there. I don't care if you're 13 or you're 22. You can achieve that if you're willing to put it in the time to understand it.
That's so powerful, man. I love the fact that you said, doesn't matter how old you are. Could be like 35, could be 42, 45. I don't know. Like you're 30 years old. the main question that I usually get from let's talk about the questions that I've been getting from the players. They were like, well, could you ask him if he makes the shot, like every single shot he makes is in, like, do you actually miss?
No, of course, of course, of course.
Like,
But I mean, I try not to. I try not to miss a whole lot. And I'll tell kids too. Look, I'm in the gym by myself. I should be making a lot of shots, right? It's not that difficult to make shots in an empty gym at the end of the day. It's when guys are draped all over you, that's when it gets difficult. So you as a kid, whoever's watching this, you should be able to go into a gym and just make shots. That's just how that's how it should be.
that's it. Oh man, I love that. Well, guys, Mike Dunn is 33 years old, have a kid, have a 9 to 5 job, and he's a professional shooting teacher. I mean, like, don't please don't tell me that you don't have time. Please don't tell me, 'cause I don't want to curse at you guys, teachers and trainers and everything. Because Mike, people only see what you achieved. People don't see the unseen hours.
Right.
People
Right.
don't realize that. People don't
Yep.
know if you're waking up 3:45, because when you say those things, and they will be like, he's telling us what he's doing, like,
Yep.
they only see the results, and they only have one button, like or not, or just comments and haters. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you have lots of haters. I'm pretty sure lots of people who are actually telling you, hey, this is not right or wrong.
Yeah.
But like, you just kept going. You're awesome, man. Well, um,
Appreciate it, man.
thank you so much. Well,
Absolutely, man.
I hope I didn't like write down any questions. I didn't do anything. I just said, Mike, could we do this? And you say yes. This just makes me more happier than everything. Especially, like, you could have just said, hey, I'm busy, man. I don't want to do this. But being willing to put in the time to give value to other players, like, it's just like, thank you so much. Like, I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the same exact thing. So it's the only way the game gets better. So keep doing it.
That's it, man. Mike, well, thank you, man. Well, please be safe. Please keep shooting. Please keep doing whatever you need to do, because we need a lot of value from you every single day. I'm pretty sure people want to see a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to see you in Turkey one day teaching.
Yes.
I'm actually going to be the translator. What you are.
Deal.
I'm willing to be the translator. I'm willing to pay the plane tickets, whatever it takes. Like,
Awesome.
just,
Awesome.
like a team, something. Like, let's just do this, right?
For sure. Let's do it, man.
Man, well, Mike, anything else?
That's it, man. If it, like I just anybody out there, I know this is a strange time,
Yeah.
but take advantage of it. You're never going to get this much time to yourself and to do anything, man. Read, spend time with family, do basketball stuff. Just kind of embrace it, because things don't ever slow down like this. So kind of take advantage of it and use it to your advantage in terms of, what you ultimately want to work towards.
That's it, man. Well, Mike, thank you so much. Have a great, wonderful day. I'm gonna keep watching you on Instagram. Okay?
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks, man.
My man, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right.